They do a bit of that.
We've discovered that you're royalty. Oh.
There are some interesting ones. I'm trying to think of really famous people who've been on it. Kelsey Grammer, Rob Lowe, Minnie Driver. Whoever thinks Minnie Driver also did the British one.
Alright.
A few, yeah. It's good. It's alright.
Well, there you go.
Save us our one, really.
So this week, Mark from SLP recommends...
I don't necessarily recommend it.
You just want to talk about it. Should we change the name of the segment to SLP Wouldn't Mind Discussing?
Yeah, I'll recommend Slater's Menswear. There you go. I've had a couple of experiences both in the Preston and Manchester branches recently, and their customer service is excellent.
What is Slater's Menswear?
They sell suits and shit.
Oh, right, so when you've been going to get feed up for suits and shit.
Yeah, and like rental stuff for weddings as well, and that sort of thing.
There you go. Fantastic. Yeah. Slater's Menswear. Okay, well, my SLP recommends this week will become apparent because it's a website I want to draw people's attention to, but I want to talk about mental health, Mark, because we haven't done it for a while, and it's something that's important in the rugby league community, and people who've been listening to the podcast for a while will kind of know what went on for me in terms of my own mental health for a while. I was in the doctor's on an unrelated matter the other day, and whilst I was queuing up, you know how they have the no, it was nothing to do with it. I wasn't getting a camera stuck anywhere or anything like that.
I was an umbrella.
No, there was nothing up or in me. It was to do with collecting a prescription for a family member, if you must know. But as I was queuing up to do that, you know, you've got all the leaflets that are here, there, and everywhere in the doctor's surgery.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, one caught my attention. It was called the Big White Wall. Now, the reason it caught my attention is because I looked at it and thought, oh, it's a bit like the Wall of White. And I grabbed hold of because the England thing that they did. So I grabbed hold of this leaflet and I started to reading. And coincidentally, it actually turns out that the Big White Wall is something that's online that's been funded by the NHS and also by the Care Quality Commission. And it's an online resource for people who are going through various types of mental health difficulty, from everything from kind of anxiety and depression and weight management and stopping smoking. There's all kinds of support on there, but the thing that drew my attention to it is kind of it's interesting to me because it's not something I'd ever encountered before from a point of view of it giving people the opportunity to have web chats with online counsellors, and there's this 24-hour-a-day service on there, and that it's anonymous. And the reason it struck a chord with me is because, as we know, one of the big difficulties with that men in particular have with mental health issues is actually being able to talk about it. And I really like this as an idea because it's anonymous and it gives people the opportunity to kind of log on and seek some support in an anonymous way, because it is very, very difficult to confront this, sometimes face to face, looking at a doctor in the eye and kind of talk about it. And the reason I wanted to make it my SLP recommends this week is because we have a certain number of people that are listening to the show every week, and the larger proportion of those are blokes in and around our age, and those are the guys that are at the higher level of risk for things like undiagnosed depression and anxiety disorders and stuff like that. So there's probably, as we're talking about this, someone sat listening to the podcast going through that and not sure what to do. So that's why I wanted to recommend this, because now as we get to the end of the podcast, this bit, for that bloke or that couple of guys that are out there listening to it, this bit is for you lads. It's www.bigwhitewall.com. You can also follow it on Twitter. It's at Big White Wall 1, or you can go to Facebook and search for Big White Wall. I've logged onto it to have a look around. It looks very, very informative and very, very easy and intuitive to use, and there's a lot of opportunity and a lot of resources there for people who might be struggling but don't know necessarily how to take the first step and find it difficult to talk to people in their immediate circle of friends and family. This could be a good outlet for you. So my recommendation this week is the Big White Wall website.
That's a good one. You're giving a comprehensive introduction to that, so I hope it might help someone along the way, for sure. Yes.
Well, I'll get us to follow it on the podcast Twitter feed and retweet it and send it out there as well, just so that people can have a look at it if they're so inclined. Coming up on next week's show, Mark, what have you got for us?
Well, I was going to ask if you have any update on your charity training.
The running's going well. I've been keeping up with that pretty much.
I think Dar sent over a couple of bits for you about
on the bike. Saddle saw. Yeah, absolutely, which will come in handy. The bike was delivered over the weekend, so it's in pride of place in my bedroom now. I haven't had opportunity to go on it yet, but my plan is that tomorrow evening I'm going to hop on it for. In my mind, I'm going to hop on for it for a couple of hours, and listen to the podcast back whilst I, just see how far I go over a couple of hours.
So you'll find out what you're going to stop, aren't you, when you realise what year you said though?
We'll see. Yeah. We'll see. I could be listening to it at this point, sat on my bike, going, dickhead, that year. So who knows?
You'll be doing that at some point.
I'm sure. Well, generally, just every other couple of days. I think that about you. But yeah, so the plan is to now start building up the bike stuff as well and getting used to that. So my target for the bike at the moment is to cycle 100 miles a week on it. I'd like to get that. So 5 days a week, get up to sort of 20 miles, or stagger that out over a week and just
straight away start at that.
Yeah, I'd like to start at that level, just to challenge myself. If it doesn't work over the week, then at least I'll find my level, and maybe I'll drop it down or what have you. And I might drop it down to 50 or 60 or what have you. But I just want to have that as my target for this week, starting so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday be my 5 bike days, and just see how we do. So I might do more one day and less another. But we'll see how we go. But no, it's I'm really enjoying it. It's good, and obviously when things get tough, like when it pisses down raining when I'm out or whatever, or when this bike thing starts to hurt my bum, then
you've got a change up to go with. Yeah,
I've got a bit of change up. It's nice, but I can also think about the support that people have been giving and the enthusiasm with which people have been donating, and the support that I got in terms of encouragement from people early doors.
Where can they go to donate if they haven't done already?
It's funny you should ask, Mark. They jump on to www.justgiving.com/Super League Pod stands up, and there you'll find details about the charity that I'm doing the runs and the cycle for, which is Refuge, and also there's a bit of a copy of the blog. If you want to read the blog specifically, of course, you can jump onto our blogspot page, which is at
superleaguepod.blogspot.co.uk.
Fantastic. But there's innumerable other ways for you to get in touch with the podcast and just feedback generally, or get in touch with us about the different games. But this is really your area of expertise now, Mark, because you know how you like the people to get in touch. So why don't you tell us? How do you want them to get in touch?
I like them to get in touch every which way possible, really. We're enjoying getting emails from people with a few longer bits going on, or messages on Facebook or Twitter the same. Sometimes we're asked not to necessarily include things in the show. That's fine too, because we enjoy all sorts of feedback. For the games, it's the Google Forms. The links get put up. I'm making a conscious effort to put them up on Facebook as well, and on the Twitter feed. I bang out the automated tweets for them pretty much after most game day times, and so get on board with that for the games. We're getting an increasing number of games covered. This week was a good coverage. I mean, I know a few of them were people who would followed the games but not necessarily seen the games or been at the games. We encourage that, but it'd be great to have someone who's been at every game getting in touch with messages too. Just spread all of that out and get that wide gamut of views on the games. We would love that. That's really what we want to be about. If you want to get in touch with us about any of the sort of topics we've raised, the bunker, we still want your players you love to hate, your half-term Man of Steel 3, maybe. Yeah, where you're at in terms of, is it going to be the best Super League season ever? Those sorts of things. Get in touch with us, Twitter or Facebook. So Super League Pod, at Super League Pod on Twitter, or facebook.com/Super League Pod for Facebook, obviously. And that's pretty much it, isn't it? Yeah, that's it. So superleaguepod@gmail.com's email address. I don't know if I said it. Yes. So there you go. We've got it all in there now. Squeezed in. There you go. So that's episode 96 of Super League Pod. But if that's not quite enough for you, you can always check us out on this week's episode of This Week in League, where we'll be bringing This Week in Luke Dawn to your logals as well. So there's always that opportunity for a little bit more Super League Pod, should you be so inclined. But for now, we'll say goodbye and we'll see you next time on your favourite Rugby League podcast, the Super League Pod.